Welcome to the Hamilton Church of Christ 2023 budget review. If you're watching this, you should have already seen our presentation Sunday morning where we handed out a spreadsheet showing the details of the budget, and I did a brief summary. But for those of you that would like a little deeper dive, I plan to spend about 15-20 minutes going through the budget in a little more detail. And I've done this the last 2 years. I actually started during the pandemic. Last year, I was just recovering from COVID, so it was kind of a rough way to go. But anyway, let's get started. Our first slide, I just want to review a little bit about last year, and I usually start off with our cash balance. Our cash in our checking account at the end of the year increased $5,070 from $165,424 to $170,473. Our contributions were short of the budget by $602 per week. The actual contributions were an average of $9,198 per week compared to our budget of $9,800. Our second slide is special contributions, and last year we did not have any special contributions, but I would like to mention an upcoming special contribution. January is a 5-Sunday month, so we have planned a special contribution the last Sunday of January. We have had an air conditioner go out last year, and we had to order it probably in September, and it took 3 months to get it here from Mexico, and they just notified us last week that it is here, ready to be installed. The cost of that air conditioner is about $37,000, which impacts our budget considerably. So we will be having a special contribution at the end of January to see how much of that $37,000 that we can offset for the air conditioner. Our third slide is contributions versus budget by year. And I've been doing this each year, and it shows the last 6 years of contributions. We've had a slight increase every year since 2017, and it has been pretty slight, except for one year, 2021, we had a large increase, and that is why we set the budget last year at $9,800, because in 2021 we had about $10,000 per week average contribution, and so we were expecting that to continue, but due to varying circumstances, the contribution dropped back down closer to the average of the last few years. Now, discussing our budget for this coming year, the 2023 budget, we have set the budget at $10,200 per year, per week, which is $400 more than last year. I know our average contribution is going to be about, or has been about $1,000 less than this budget. This is a challenging budget, even more so than last year. Like I said, actual contribution has been about $1,000 per week less than the new budget, and this budget we're facing a $52,000 shortfall if our contributions don't grow. and we're hoping that some of our special contributions through the year, especially the one in January for the air conditioner that I just mentioned, will make up some of that deficit. We had some contributions at the end of 2022 that won't show as contributions for this year, but they will go towards some of the expenses for 2023, which will reduce that $52,000 another $10,000 to $15,000. So one of the reasons our budget is set at $10,200 is we have made Will is acting as our full-time youth minister, and plus the expense of the air conditioner has made the budget increase over what it was last year. I'm hoping that everyone will take time to look at their giving, to evaluate and see if you've made a change over the last year, if your income's increased, or special circumstances. Sometimes we get in the habit of giving a certain amount, and we don't think about changing it or increasing it. And the Lord loves a cheerful giver, and we really would appreciate it if you would take a little time to review going into the new year your weekly contribution and see if you can increase that a little bit to help us out. Our next slide, we'll start getting into our different ministries and talk about some of the expenses and some of the things going on in each of those ministries. The first one, our first slide here is starting on our operating expenses. And the first line item there you'll see is our minister, associate minister, and secretary, which is Ted and Ryan and Shirley. Will is not included in that number. He'll be in the youth section. And we're blessed to have 3 good ministers here to serve all the people, and Miss Shirley has been faithfully serving the congregation for many years, and we appreciate all the work that she does. And anyway, that number, as you can see, is $261,000. Next is visiting preachers. We do plan to have a gospel meeting again this year, and Mark Posey will be holding that. Mark is the full-time evangelist at Winfield Church of Christ, and we're looking forward to that. We'll probably plan to have a summer series, and our ladies are planning several events this year, and that they can look forward to. That's included in that budget. Under the education, Paul Colvin is taking charge of education as the deacon for that area, and he would like to have a teacher's banquet this year. We haven't had one in several years, and I think that's a good thing that we could do this year to honor our teachers. We also, part of education is we'll be doing a new daily devotional book called My Family this year, and those will be handed out, or maybe were handed out Sunday morning. Next line item is worship and communion supplies, video and security. Ron Clark is in charge of the communion. He schedules the communion, or people that help with any parts of communion. He handles communion at night, the evening service for those that miss the morning, and we appreciate all that he does. The control room is a vital part of the service of providing a good quality service, of recording the services and having that sent out online to Facebook and YouTube, and also to controlling our sound and light. And they do a masterful job at what they do up there. And usually we have some expenses involved with that each year. Some pieces of equipment may fail, or we need to update some equipment to maintain our quality in that area. Also, a vital part of worship and church now that we didn't have several years ago, and I hate it has to be this way, but security is also a vital part of our services. We do have a team of people that work in that area. Jeff White coordinates that group, and we're pleased that they help keep us safe. We do have several cameras throughout the building, and this year we had planned to add more cameras in hallways last year. That didn't get done. So we still have that on our agenda for this coming year. Last, fellowship supplies, or fellowship and supplies. Bob Moore and Henry Bonner are in charge of that. They are working with our senior age group, and we are having more fellowship in person, as that has been kind of suspended the last 2 or 3 years due to COVID. And they have worked real hard getting our zone program restarted. And the main function of our zones, we have 4 zones. I think we have 4. Anyway, the main function of that program is to help when there's a need arise from someone being sick, or from funerals, or family coming in for funerals, or just any other need. Bob and Henry have some zone leaders, and they get activated and make some calls, and we help provide food for the sick or those that are grieving loss. And we've done the last couple of years due to COVID, we've changed to more of having catered meals to people instead of just being strictly a potluck type thing. And so we've been taking contributions to help cover the cost of that, and then that's offset as they spend it on the catering meals. Next, talk about our budget for the youth and young adults. As you can see, well, first let me say, I know Jared Sarton and Andrew Lindsay, a couple of our newer deacons, and then Chris Warner and Paul Calvin are all working with our youth and assisting Will and Ryan in the work that they do with the youth. Our largest expense of the year for the youth is our Lads to Leaderettes Convention. Happens Easter weekend every year in Nashville, and we're looking forward to that, and the kids are doing a lot of work in preparation for that. Crafts, song leading, Bible reading, Bible quizzes. There's just a tremendous amount of activities that our kids can be involved in with Lads Leaders, and the budget for that is $8,500. The church pays for the first couple of nights for the kids, and then they have to pay percentage. There are other winter youth events, CYC in February, that has a little bit of cost involved with it, and the last few years they've been on mission trips, usually down in Louisiana, doing VBSs for those people there, and we're proud of the work that they're doing there. We do host the area-wide youth meetings 1 month per year. A lot of kids go to Horizons in the summer at Freed-Hardeman. We've had some retreats recently, and of course Maywood is a big event of the year. A lot of our young people become Christians during that week, and we do support Maywood and all as much as we can. That is one of our main mission works, because it is in our area and was started with the help of the Hamilton congregation. We're excited about Will Addison being here to work with our youth, and he started last summer or last spring as an intern, and as he progressed, and then he graduated from Heritage this past summer, and so he was looking for full-time work, and we have been needing a full-time youth minister as well, since Ryan's responsibilities have increased over the last couple of years. Next is our facilities and facilities management and administration expenses. These are things that, just are almost fixed expenses, things that we incur, every month. Of course, our utilities there are $28,500. We're projecting for 23. That's an increase of $4,000 or $5,000, and due to the reason for that is the increase in rates by the utility companies. Next, we have $45,480 budgeted for building maintenance, and really that may not be near enough, because, like I mentioned earlier, $37,000 will be going towards the air conditioner. As you can see in the slide, our building has been around since 1985, and it is a large facility. And with the large facility, there is plenty of maintenance. Usually every few years we have to redo the parking lot. There's several air conditioners that we've had ever since 1985. Some of them been rebuilt, repaired, and but as they go out, we have to replace those periodically. And so with a plant, a church building this size, and the amount of area that it covers, it takes quite a bit of money to keep it up to date and going. Also included in this part of the budget is building superintendent lawn mowing and supplies. That's Alan West, and he does a great job keeping things up in the yard, and also keeping things repaired around the building and inside the building. Kelly Bonner and Henry Janis keep the building clean each week. That's our janitor and supplies expense of $11,600. Next is telephone and internet, and of course all that comes through Tom Bigby. Office expenses, supplies, and copiers and copier paper for our weekly bulletin, and other things that go on is about $12,000 there. And then insurance is a fairly significant number, $18,241. It's about 3% of the budget. And then last, our vans, and most of that $4,000 is gas expense. Well, it should include gas and any kind of maintenance that we have on our buses. We do not have any note payments at this time. I want to talk about our missions. Included on this slide is our missions and outreach in the community service. David Hollis, deacon over benevolence. Jared Sarton and Paul Logan and the rest of the eldership review our opportunities for mission work and review the mission work that we're involved in now. Also, a big shout out to Rick Chambliss, as he keeps the pantry restocked, and we hand out several boxes of food weekly and monthly that helps a lot of people, and especially want to help thank Rick for the work that he's doing in that area. Several of these missions we've supported for many years. As you can see, starts with the most to the least, and these are all domestic mission works. Heritage Christian University does a great job of putting out preachers, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, Will just graduated from Heritage. Child Haven does a great work with orphans, and we've supported them probably since the 70s. Freed-Hardeman University also puts out many preachers. Maywood Christian Camp, well, actually is our second largest support in the domestic area, and like I said, that is a evangelistic work that is very important to this congregation, and Jeff Goff has done a fantastic job out there over the years. Soldier mission work is something that we've taken up the last couple of years to help the Sullivan Church to get back on their feet, and hire a preacher to build them up. Jenkins Institute was something we added last year, and that's Dale and Jeff Jenkins. They do a lot of work helping preachers, and I don't have time to go into all the things that they do, but they are doing a fantastic work in the brotherhood. Like I mentioned, benevolence. We have quite a few benevolence needs in the community, and we do help people with power bills and food and many other things when they come by. Excuse me. Next, and this should be our next to last slide. In our area of foreign missions, India, we support them at $6,000 per year, and Kyle Clayton is continuing that work over there after Ron died this year. World Bible School, we've decreased the amount of support in that area unless we start getting the online doing online World Bible School. This area is kind of dried up. Several of the people that were taking classes through World Bible School were in prisons in the United States, and many of the prisons have stopped letting you send mail in, and the prisoners letting them send mail out. They're scanning the mail so that they all they can do is look at a scanned copy of the mail, and they can't go through the Bible study and send it back to us to grade. So, and then overseas, the political turmoil and the mail systems have kind of failed us, and some of the places in Africa that we used to get a lot of correspondence from. So for now anyway, the World Bible School budget has been dropped some. We're still supporting Joe Warnell in Haiti, and everyone knows the situation in Haiti. We did send some boxes of food or boxes of things that they need in Haiti, several boxes recently. They're just one of the poorest countries in the world. The Gospel Chariot in Africa continues to do great work it's a mobile, they call it the Gospel Chariot, it is a mobile bus or van that goes around to different places, holding meetings and teaching and baptizing people. Barton Kaiser we've supported the last few years while he was in South America, and then he came back and helped start a Hispanic church in Charlotte, but he is leaving that work and is going to the Dallas area and helping train foreign missionaries to go out to places like South America, and so we're looking forward to see how his work progresses there. Last, Wayne Barrier, I've got on the slide it says China, but Wayne Barrier does work in many other areas: the Philippines, Thailand, several places in the Southeast Asia, not just in China, and that's been one of the better works that we've supported the last few years. Last, think about, and I've said this before in previous years, but think about where you fit into the work at Hamilton in 2023, and because we need to go to work. and we need you to help us increase your support of the work in Hamilton. And we need you to pray regularly for the whole work that's being done, and for God's blessings on that work, and for us to help reach the lost and building up the saved. And we want to ask you to give freely, cheerfully, purposefully, proportionally, and be involved in the work that God calls you to do. Let me finish with Proverbs 21, verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty. Thank you for you taking your time to listen to this budget presentation. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact me, and I'll be glad to explain any area of work in the budget. And again, God bless you, and thank you.